Police are preparing as thousands of demonstrators intend to protest the possible overturn of Roe v. Wade downtown Madison this weekend. Plus, a closer look at what lawmakers are doing to speed up baby formula production as the shortage continues to impact families all across the country. This is News 3 Now at noon. Good afternoon, I'm Mark Kane. We're finally seeing a bit of the break in the heat, but with that comes potential thunderstorms. Julian Seawright has a look at your certified most accurate forecast, keeping an eye on the radar this afternoon.
That's right. We're going to be watching the radar throughout much of this afternoon, as we do have the potential of us being able to see some severe storms later into this afternoon. But aside from that, we still have heat and humidity that is on tap for us throughout the rest of our afternoon as well. Temperatures are going to soar into the upper 80s, and we'll start to see that heat continue throughout the early part of this afternoon as well. Could eclipse close to the 90, but as cloud cover starts to build, we could see those cooler temperatures. And by cooler, I use that loosely because it's still going to be feeling quite summer-like as we get into the rest of today. Winds will start to pick up as well as we get into the later part of this afternoon, but then we are going to be keeping our eye on seeing those storms start to roll in later into the evening parts. However, for our heat index around southern Wisconsin, we can see it's not as bad for today, but still feels very summer-like, into the middle 80s for many of us as we're rolling into our noon hour. But today, we are looking at our potential for seeing severe weather. Really, our severe weather threats are mainly going to be for hail and for some strong to high winds that could be damaging in some areas. We'll break down what else to expect in the timing of this threat coming up in a few moments, Mark.
All right, we'll keep an eye on things. Thank you, Julian. Well, a scary situation for an Oconto County deputy last night. Take a look at this. Deputies were responding to the scene after a vehicle was struck by a tree when floodwaters undermined a 4-foot section of a culvert pipe while a deputy was driving over it. The pavement gave way, causing the squad car to crash into the water. Airbags were deployed, and the deputy and a canine were able to quickly escape. Neither was injured. The Madison Police Department is planning ahead for possible protests downtown this weekend. Groups speaking out against a potential reversal of Roe v. Wade have indicated they plan to hold protests across the country tomorrow. They say thousands of people are expected around the Capitol at 4 p.m. Police are working with multiple agencies to make sure demonstrators are safe for everyone. Chief Sean Barnes released a statement this morning saying, quote, "Our hope is that all gatherings remain peaceful, allowing participants to openly and safely stand up for their beliefs, whatever they may be." He also said the department supports the rights granted to people through the First Amendment. Louisiana state lawmakers made sweeping changes to a bill that would have prosecuted women seeking abortions. Last night, House lawmakers struck down a provision that would have criminalized women who have abortions. The revised measure also does not outlaw contraception. The measure also preserves some of the rights of parents to use in vitro fertilization to conceive a child. We're learning new details about a chase that ended in Lake Delton last week. Police say the suspect was wanted in North Dakota for failing to register as a sex offender and evading arrest in Texas. Dustin Hendricks fled officers in North Dakota on May 4th, then continued south to Wisconsin. State troopers tried to pull him over last Thursday on I-90 near DeForest, but he continued driving through Dane and Columbia counties. After his car was spiked, Hendricks ditched his car at the Kalahari in the Wisconsin Dells before running into the woods. A woman, a child, and an infant were in the car at the time. Well, parents are doing whatever is necessary to find formula for their babies. Christina Ruffini has more on the nationwide shortage and what lawmakers are doing to increase supply.
Erica Lopez has been scrambling to find formula for her 9-month-old daughter, Eliana.
I can't be doing this. I can't be running to 10 different stores every single month trying to find her formula. What else can I do?
But supplies are running out across the country, with 43% less formula on store shelves. It was 31% last month.
Moms on Facebook all over are like, well, does anybody know where I can find this formula or this formula or, you know, and it's scary because how are you going to feed them?
Abbott says its plant, which was shut down because of concerns about tainted formula, could be restarting production soon, but it might take up to 2 months for that supply to make it onto store shelves. The White House says President Biden is considering invoking the Defense Production Act to increase supplies. Thursday, he spoke with baby formula manufacturers to try to get them to step it up on their own.
What we're doing here at this point in time is working with other manufacturers who can produce safe baby formula.
Biden administration officials say they're going to cut some packaging regulations to help get new products on the shelves faster. They're also calling for crackdowns on price gouging and working on importing more formula from overseas. But critics say the president has reacted too slowly.
House Republicans are here to push for action from the FDA and the Biden administration, who should have had a plan for this shortage months ago.
The House Oversight Committee has launched an investigation looking into supply issues and prices. The committee sent out these letters yesterday to manufacturers requesting documents. Christina Ruffini, CBS News, the White House.
The Committee on Oversight and Reform also announced today it's seeking documents from Abbott Nutrition about the condition of its Michigan plant, which led to the recent recall of formula. A manhunt is underway in Texas for an escaped prisoner who attacked a guard and fled from a prison bus. Police say 46-year-old Gonzalo Lopez slipped out of his shackles, overpowered a prison bus driver before stabbing him. The struggle forced the bus to crash. Lopez then escaped. Guards fired at him, but we're not sure if he was hit. Lopez was serving a life sentence for murder. Investigators say the guard was not seriously hurt. Mercedes is recalling nearly 300,000 SUVs due to a potential problem that could cause the power brakes to fail. The recall covers 2006 through 2012 models of the ML, GL, and R-Class SUVs. Federal regulators say brake boosters, which provide power assistance to the brakes, can corrode over an extended period of time. That can let air into the system, weakening the power brakes. Mercedes is asking owners to go to a dealer for an inspection. Mercedes will also tow vehicles to the dealer for free, and there's no charge for the work. An all-black group of climbers and mountaineers have made history as the first to summit Mount Everest. About 4,000 people have reached the world's highest peak, but until now, just 8 of them have been black. This is one of the reasons this Full Circle Everest was formed. The 7-member group reached the summit yesterday, making history as the first all-black team to stand atop the highest mountain on Earth. Well, youth sports is facing an umpire shortage. Wausau Youth Baseball and Softball says the shortage has gotten worse the past 4 years. Sometimes they resort to pulling parents and kids out of the stands to umpire. The organization is now considering canceling games. One reason for the shortage, growing hesitation from umps to deal with unruly fans.
We haven't had any issues in our league, which is a good thing. We have a few, you're going to have your crazy ones, but we haven't had to throw anybody out or eject anybody from any game for that.
League leaders say the longer winter has also jammed everyone's schedule, and that's making it harder as well. The ump shortage is impacting leagues across the country. Well, there's more to come on News 3 Now and Noon. As the school year comes to a close, millions of college students are still facing high housing costs, and prices are only going to go higher. Details up next.
You're watching News 3 Now at noon.
Memorial Day savings start now at Furniture and Appliance Mart. Save up to 40% off doorbusters and special buys. Plus, get special no-interest financing for 12 months. And it's starting right now at Furniture and Appliance Mart inside Ashley off the Beltline in East Springs Drive.
He has his grandfather's smile.
Her mother's eyes.
My cheekbones.
But will she have my diabetes?
My sickle cell anemia.
His father's heart disease?
Go to joinallofus.org to share your health information and speed up health research breakthroughs. The future of health begins with you.
When we needed new doors and windows for our home, we were looking for someone we could trust.
We've done the bargain brand windows.
What we loved about Next Door and Window is that they were different.
We really loved their educational approach.
Call 844-600-NEXT. 50% off your installation.
Hey, everybody, who's coming to the big show? It's Fed Aid, Saturday, June 11th at Ho Chunk Gaming and Casino in Wisconsin Dells. An all-day outdoor event. Come out for classic cars, trucks, and motorcycles during the day and stay for the concert at night. Featuring country superstar Trace Atkins, Runaway Jew, the Mascot Theory, and Bev Killian. All benefiting heat and housing for heroes. Visit VetAidWI.com for details and to purchase tickets for Trace Atkins.
I just scratch my head over these career politicians. They get in there and they just never want to leave. I'm going to give this my all for 4 years, work very hard. I'm going to do it for the greater good of all the people of Wisconsin, not the special interests. I think the lobbyists are not going to like me at all. They're going to be very frustrated. I'm not beholden to them. Didn't take any money from them, won't take any money from them. I'm going to do what's right for all the people of Wisconsin.
Tim Michaels for governor.
It's time to set the record straight on who has the best beef. This is the Hy-Vee Beef Standards Book, and here's all you really need to know. Hy-Vee's pickier. Their cattle are even hand-selected. Some make claims, but Hy-Vee has the best beef. That's a fact. So enjoy your Hy-Vee steak this weekend. You've earned it.
The savings do not get better than this. Ashley's Memorial Day sale starts now. Holiday doorbusters are up to 64% off, plus up to an additional 10% off at checkout. Furnish entire rooms for only $14 per month and special financing for 60 months, starting right now.
The Senate has confirmed Jerome Powell for a second term as chairman of the Federal Reserve. Powell says a recession may happen in the U.S. no matter what the Fed does. He told NPR that he had hoped higher interest rates would curb borrowing and ease inflation. However, Powell says that may not be enough to overcome the effects of the pandemic and the war in Ukraine. It's been a rough week for cryptocurrency investors. Yesterday, the price of Bitcoin dropped below $26,000. That had not happened since December 2020. A year ago, Bitcoin was trading for just under $50,000 apiece. And Mercedes-Benz is recalling nearly 300,000 SUVs to fix a problem that could lead to a brake failure. The recall affects ML, GL, and R-Class vehicles from the 2006 through 2012 model years. Owners are urged to immediately stop driving those SUVs until their braking systems can be inspected. And that's your CBS Money Watch report. For more, head to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Matt Piper.
Let's check Wall Street at the noon hour. The Dow Industrials up 389 points. The NASDAQ up 427. The S&P up 103. The roller coaster continues. Elon Musk is pausing his push to buy Twitter weeks after agreeing to take the social media company private in a $44 billion deal. Of course, his announcement about Twitter was in a tweet saying, quote, Twitter deal temporarily on hold pending details supporting calculations that spam fake accounts do indeed represent less than 5% of users. Exactly why the estimated number of spam accounts would put the deal on hold is unclear, but Friday's news sunk Twitter's share more than 20% in pre-market trading. The school year is coming to an end for college students all across the country. Millions faced higher housing costs this past year, and prices are only going to go higher, especially for those living off campus. Michelle Medina reports.
College senior Jennifer Lopez learned a tough lesson about supply and demand. Dorms and apartments around UC Berkeley in Northern California are hard to come by. She couldn't afford the $3,700 a month rent on this one bedroom, so she's sharing it with 3 roommates.
I definitely was not prepared to be this stressed about housing every year.
Rent prices in college towns across the country are skyrocketing. Chapel Hill, home to the University of North Carolina, has seen rents jump 24% since 2020. Tempe, where Arizona State is located, is up 31%. And there's been a 36% jump in Knoxville, where students go to the University of Tennessee.
In many of these college towns, the universities or the market where these universities are haven't created enough housing to really support a growing student body. You have students who have to commute very long distances in order to attend classes or end up actually being homeless, which could be anything from crashing on couches or sleeping in their cars.
Because of a lack of housing last fall, the University of Tampa in Florida offered freshmen a break on tuition if they deferred 1 year. And in many college towns, it doesn't appear this fall will be any better. These Berkeley students had a tough time just seeing a place.
We just saw them on Zillow, requested a tour, with no luck, unfortunately.
They were able to find a 1-bedroom for $3,000 a month, which might turn out to be a bargain of sorts because rent prices are expected to keep climbing. Nichelle Medina, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Well, coming up, Pam Yankee has your latest egg numbers, plus possible thunderstorms later on today. Julian has the latest forecast when we come back.
The best mattress deals in Wisconsin start now at Ashley. This Memorial Day, save $1,000 on Sealy and Serta. Save up to $500 on Tempur-Pedic. Plus, get $300 in free furniture. Doorbusters up to 60% off. And special financing for 60 months. Starting right now.
What's at the top of your home improvement list? Did you say better insulation? Because better insulation makes everything you do in your home better. Even just walking in the front door on a hot day. So get ready for summer now with USA Premium Foam. It keeps the hot air out, the cool air in, and your electric bills lower. Call now before our busy summer season and get $500 off whole home insulation. But that ends May 31st.
USA Insulation.
There are so many things we take for granted, and along with them, sometimes we take the people who depend on them for granted too. How can they survive with record increases in their basic cost of living? And through no fault of their own, they're being left behind. If you or someone you know needs a hand up, our energy, water, and emergency rental assistance providers are working together to keep you safely in your home. You may not ask for it, but we're here to help.
Violent and destructive riots in Kenosha, the Waukesha Christmas Parade tragedy, record-high homicides in Milwaukee, from defunding our police to releasing violent felons with low or no bail. Liberal Democrats have created the worst crime wave in decades. Senator Ron Johnson is standing with our brave law enforcement officers to keep Wisconsin families safe, and he wants to keep violent criminals behind bars where they belong.
I'm Ron Johnson, and I approve this message.
The savings do not get better than this. Ashley's Memorial Day sale starts now. Holiday doorbusters are up to 64% off, plus up to an additional 10% off at checkout. Furnish entire rooms for only $14 per month and special financing for 60 months. Starting right now.
News 3 Now is taking action, reaching out to our community to lend a helping hand.
Taking action by teaming with our neighbors and local leaders to help make this amazing community we share a better place to live.
Taking action for South Central Wisconsin. News 3 Now.
Want to know right now what the weather will be like tomorrow? Download the First Warned Weather app and get my 48-hour forecast to help plan your day. The First Warned Weather app. Get it now.
Powered by News 3 Now. The Farm Report is sponsored by Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
And let's check in now with Pam Yankee from the Midwest Farm Report. We made it to Friday.
One more day, yeah. And I kind of sympathize with my home county. I saw those pictures of that cruiser that ended up going through the road at 3.5 to 4 inches of rain up in my home neck of the woods in northeast Wisconsin overnight. So fortunately, we haven't seen that kind of action down here in southern Wisconsin, but we have seen the heat, and we've also seen the winds. And that's really causing some problems with weed control for farmers that are already out there aggressively planting. Talked to Dr. Rodrigo Worley, our University Extension weed specialist, and he said he's a little worried. We're really getting a good pace going as far as planting, but we need to make sure that the sprayer is coming behind it with the herbicide to try to knock down those early season weeds. And the winds are causing us problems. That makes it very unsafe to try to apply herbicides. The other thing we have to remember is if we miss solid weed control early in the season, we're going to have a problem catching those weeds as the summer goes on. Why? Supply chain problems. Dr. Worley said right now, if we're looking for rescue treatment herbicides later this summer, very, very small supply that's available out there, and it's going to be expensive. So try to do what you can as far as weed control now. And he says even if it means slowing down on the planting, just make sure that sprayer is right behind your rig. Alice in Dairyland tickets are a hot commodity, but remember, if you plan on attending either a informal question-answer session on Friday next week or the finale on Saturday at the Monona Terrace Convention Center, get your tickets now, AliceInDairyland.com. Caitlin Riley, one of the former Alice's and a volunteer on the Dane County Committee that's hosting, said they're also adding one more judge to the panelists that will review all of the applicants. They actually use a rubric grading scale to make sure that everybody's evaluated fairly. Remember, next Saturday, the 21st, we'll find out the identity of our new Alice. No change on barrel or block cheese today or AA butter. Everything's standing still as far as the dairy complex. But I'll tell you, that Alice and Dairyland Committee and the 6 finalists doing anything but standing still, Mark, they're going to be involved in doing tours around Dane County agribusinesses next week. Then Friday, it's the impromptu question answer session. Saturday morning next week, they'll be down at the Capitol Square for the farmers market. Then they'll get time to get spiffed up before the finale next Saturday night. So it's going to be a busy week for them.
They're going to get their steps in, that's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, have a good weekend, Pam.
You too.
Well, U.S. meat producers got grilled by congressional investigators. The House Select Subcommittee on the Coronavirus Crisis reports executives at some of the nation's biggest meat companies circumvented COVID-19 safety measures and regulations. They say that led to thousands of employees being infected with the virus, resulting in hundreds of deaths. Committee members also say meat processors misled the public when they claimed the country was near a product shortage. Here's Julia now. Hopefully we'll have a shortage of these 90-degree days coming as we move forward.
That is some of the good news, but until we get there, we do have this alert day that we have to address for us. And it's mainly for this evening, as we are going to be dealing with some heat and humidity throughout the rest of our afternoon. We're also looking at a chance of seeing some severe thunderstorms for some of us in our area. With the threats themselves are going to be with high winds, hail, and heavy rainfall for us here in southern Wisconsin. And that's how we're going to be breaking things down, because we are not looking at too much of a risk in terms of a tornado, but in terms of us foreseeing quarter-sized hail and even some high to even damaging winds are more likely with the storms that will be sweeping through the area as we get into the later parts of this evening. And this is all coming from a very dynamic system, which has all been fueled by the sunshine and the heat that we've been dealing with over the past couple of days. And now we're going to start to see that really start to turn into fruition for us. And that's what we're keeping our eye on throughout the rest of this afternoon, because as of right now, relatively dry, especially here in southern Wisconsin. We're looking at plenty of sunshine for us. Might see a couple of clouds, but just remember that heat is just convective fuel for us to start to see some storms as we get into the later part of today. As we look, as of right now, we have a marginal risk for most of southern Wisconsin, but areas just west of Dane County and Dane County in itself are under a slight risk for seeing severe storms, and that stretches its way all the way down south to our friends near Missouri. So this is what we're going to be doing in terms of planning things out for us. So if you have anything that you need to get done for today, definitely do it during the early afternoon hours. If you can't get off work a little early, definitely try to do so, because we're going to be looking at things to start to pop off a little bit as we get into the 6 p.m. hour. As we're looking at some showers that start to creep their way in, and with it, some thunderstorms as well. That's going to carry itself throughout the rest of this evening into our early nighttime. As you can see, the storms themselves are going to be mainly concentrated into the south central areas of southern Wisconsin. This includes Dane County and areas up into the Dells and then just south near the Illinois state border. But aside from that, we're going to be looking at those storms start to clear their way out. And thankfully for those storms, we're going to start to see some cooler weather heading into our weekend. Saturday is going to be looking so much nicer. Still going to feel close to summer, but not as bad. As temperatures will be into the upper 70s and into the 80s through our afternoon. We are looking at a chance of seeing some showers, but it's not going to be very widespread. And then more cloud cover is going to enter us as we get into our Sunday. So in terms of us seeing some rain, could be seeing some pretty heavy amounts, mainly with the storms that are rolling through in the areas of south central Wisconsin, which will be from Dane County into even Greene County, excuse me. But as we take a look just once more, make sure that you have your plan ready to go for us. We've been dealing with heat for the last few days, trying to stay cool. Now we're dealing with a bit of heat and now some severe storms. So make sure that your severe weather plan is rearing and ready to grow. But aside from that, we are going to be looking at some reprieve from this weekend. Temperatures around 72 degrees on Sunday and 80 for Saturday. So we're not looking at those 90s with heat indexes or heat indices that were into the 90s throughout this weekend, which is going to be nice because next week we're looking at even cooler weather. Much more spring-like heading into the back end of our May month. But aside from that, we just got to get through today from the heat and even the potential storms. Then we're going to be looking at a nice forecast for us as temperatures will be into the 70s and even to the 60s before we start to see some rain chances rolling back in, Mark.
All right, we need some relief. Thank you, Julian.
Finally.
Yeah, finally. There's more to come on News 3 Now at noon. I'm next. Let's see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
You know, sometimes we get so caught up in trying to make a recipe a little different that we forget that many of the best dishes are the most basic ones. I'll show you what I mean.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
When cleaning your air ducts, it's important to clean the entire system. And air duct cleaning from Stanley Steamer removes pounds of trapped dirt, dust, and allergens from your home completely. Call today for a free inspection.
Stanley Steamer gets your home cleaner.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family cool this summer,
let me show you how this works.
It takes Bryant.
Bryant, whatever it takes.
In Madison, contact Heating and Cooling Incorporated to maximize your comfort and energy savings whatever the season.
You can get your smile back today. At Affordable Dentures and Implants, we make high-quality tooth replacement affordable for everyone. So whether it's a single tooth, full dentures, or life-changing dental implants, we have an experienced dentist who can help you go ahead and smile. Click or call to schedule your new smile consultation today.
Go ahead and smile.
In Wisconsin, everything's gotten so expensive because America's too dependent on China. So we sure know phony baloney policies when we see them. Senator Ron Johnson voted against cracking down on China with higher tariffs and tougher trade deals, and even voted against punishing China for manipulating its currency. No wonder everything keeps going up and up and up. Senator Johnson, stop making it easier on China and tougher on us.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how? Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope. We use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
But you still sell investments that generate high commissions for you, right?
No, we don't sell commission products. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in our clients' best interest.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, we do better when our clients do better. At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
The Stanley Steamer started with one man, a van, and a whole lot of carpet. We've been innovating for a long time. Stanley Steamer now goes beyond carpet. Schedule a cleaning today.
You know, sometimes we get so caught up trying to make a recipe a little different that we forget that many of the best dishes are the most basic ones. That's why today I want to share with you a good old-fashioned coleslaw that has stood the test of time. We start by cutting a head of cabbage into quarters and removing the core. Now we place it flat side down on a cutting board. This way it won't wobble when we cut it. Then with a sharp knife, we carefully shred it. If you want, you could even make this with a bag of pre-shredded cabbage right from the market. Either way, we add a shredded carrot along with thinly cut strips of green pepper. Now for the part that makes this all come together. We combine some mayonnaise, lemon juice, a bit of sugar, and a little salt. After mixing it, we toss this with the cabbage. I actually learned that the key to making really good coleslaw is to mix it with your hands. But that's up to you. After it's chilled, it's ready to serve with any of our summertime favorites. What makes this so good is that it has just the right balance of tartness to creaminess. As always, the recipe for our country coleslaw is online now. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found an old-fashioned way for you to say, ooh, it's so good. Yummy.
And here's Julian now. One final check of the forecast.
Well, we're close to looking to see another record-setting day for us in terms of our high temperatures, but we might just tie it for today. It depends on the timing of those storms, but once the storms are out, folks, we are looking for a nice weekend and a nice next week as well, Mark.
Looking forward to that. Thanks, Julian. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you back here at 4 o'clock. In the meantime, have a great afternoon.